Spencer Davies, Cavs Insider. A lot of assists tonight, a lot of assists and made field goals, pretty close to the other. I think he had like 7 guys in double figures. Just looked like the ball movement and the energy was solid tonight.
Yeah, I think it was, an emphasis that we have going in. That's the way we want to play. We want to try to create, as much ball movement as we can, share the game offensively. We got a lot of guys who can play offense. So guys are going to, the more you make teams chase, there's so many guys out there that can make a play that finishes it. So trying to get everybody involved offensively, and it just starts with the ball movement.
How do you feel like Ty and Caris kind of dictated how the start of that game went?
I thought they did a really good job. I didn't think they played well together. Both of them were aggressive. They know how to get in the paint. But again, both those guys can share and create. The 11 assists between them, and in a shorter minutes, they were finding their teammates, but putting pressure on people, forcing the help, and they making the easy one.
I wanted to ask you about Craig Porter. It just seems like, he's only 23 years old. He feels like he plays like he's 32. Like he's got like a really good feel for the ball and really plays at his own pace. Have you seen that from someone as young as he is?
I think he's played a lot of basketball, but he knows who he is, and like he doesn't get sped up. Like you mentioned, he plays at his tempo. It's a pace, but then there's an explosiveness at the end of it. And you'll see, and I'm sure you saw during the summer league, it's like, he's got a strange knack at that size for blocking shots and being able to block shots. Staying in front of guys, but being on the side and then being able to recover and then explode vertically to challenge and contest and block shots. So it's something that obviously he's accustomed to, but I think it catches offensive players off guard.
Evan Damar, right down Euclid. JB, the other night, Dean mentioned to us that this is the healthiest he's been since prior to his shoulder injury, and you can really tell that the confidence is back in his shot. Do you think that you're starting to see the Dean wave we saw prior to the shoulder injury last year?
Yeah, it's again, we have belief in Dean, always have. I think he, starting to feel, like you said, healthy and comfortable. But in this league, the belief is the main thing. Right, and sometimes injury gets in the way and doesn't allow you to do the things that you know you're capable of, and it causes doubt. So, him being healthy, physically, mentally, you see what he's capable of, and you see how many different ways he can help us.
And you had mentioned that Friday's game will be a dress rehearsal thing, as long as everything goes well for the first 3 quarters. But with how well some of the guys who maybe won't get consistent minutes on a night-to-night basis played tonight and probably have during camp, does it make the conversation hard for you and your staff on just how you round out the rotation?
Yeah, we got a bunch of guys who can contribute. And it's a matter of how deep do we want to go? How deep can you go, without disrupting everybody? But we all know the NBA season is long. And you're going to need that depth, and you're going to need different things from different people on different nights. So, we're confident in our depth, and, throughout the season, everybody's going to get a chance.
Stay on this same room.
Jackson Flickinger, right down Euclid. So 20 of Bates' 27 shots have come from beyond the arc. Is that the shot profile you want to see from him?
Yeah, I think with the spacing that we play with, he's kind of taking what's there and what's given to him. I do, and you guys will get to see, Imani is a shot creator from all levels. But the way our offense is right now, the way the ball is moving, he's in the right spot. The spot's behind the 3, and his teammates are finding him for those. So again, as he grows, you'll see he has the ability to make shots from all over the floor. But right now, he's doing what the team needs him to do, and he's getting to his spots, and the teammates are finding him.
What are the biggest areas of progression you've seen from him since the start of training camp?
Just being comfortable. I think it's, when you've been the best player, in every situation you've gone to, coming into a new situation with elite all-star level talent and, NBA veteran players, you just have to get adjusted to what it's like to play with people like that. Whether it's high school or college, you just don't find this level of talent and the depth that we have here. So you have to figure out, how do I play off these other guys who are ultra talented as well? So I think we've continued to see him grow there, and then also defensively, picking up our system and our scheme.
As to Spencer back there.
Was it nice to see Mama D? It looked like everybody in the building loved to see him because obviously he's so fun.
Yeah, no, Mama D's awesome. It's nonstop chatter and laughing, but Mama D's awesome. So it was great to see him.
Do you feel like he's got a future in this league still?
I think so for sure. I mean, his skill set, his ability to shoot the ball, he's got an uncanny knack of protecting the rim. Can switch and guard multiple positions. So he's that Swiss Army knife that teams are looking for.
J.B., you had mentioned during the Atlanta game there was opportunities that your guys passed up on the perimeter for the pass. Or Sam mentioned to us a few days ago that there were a few shots he could have taken, but he'd rather pass the ball. Is it kind of hard to have, or rather, is it hard for you to maybe tell your guys who play a little bit unselfishly at times and maybe, hey, be a little bit more selfish and rip it from the perimeter?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easier to do that than to get the guys to move it, right? So right now, we're in the move it stage. So we want guys to continue to move it. You may turn down a good one, but you're aiming for a great one. And again, with the amount of guys who we have who can impact the game on the offensive end, it's always going to come around. So we want to keep moving it, and if we keep moving it, everybody will get their piece.
Thank you.
Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. Hey, JB.
What's up, Chris?
What were you hoping to get out of this game, and do you feel like you got out of it what you wanted?
Yeah, I mean, we got out of it exactly what we wanted. An opportunity to go out, compete for one, and then play Cavalier basketball, which I think we did. I think we got after it on the defensive end, and then we shared the game offensively, and that's what we were looking for. And you just, like I said, you need the reps, and I think guys who may not have gotten a ton of reps, they got their opportunities tonight.
I think you put George and Imani in at the same time. Is there something specific that you like about that particular combination?
I mean, the shooting, obviously, but I just think, like, the way that George plays the game, the way he thinks the game, like, I think he's good for Imani to be around. There's just so many lessons that you learn to become an NBA player, and George has those things down. You know what I mean? Like, he has a way to outthink his opponent. And the more, young guys can play with people like that, it helps them learn the game as well.
Did you know when you guys drafted Imani that he was this kind of shooter?
Yeah. I mean, again, we are extremely fortunate that Imani was there at 46. I believe that Imani is fortunate to be here also because I think the pairing works. And I think for his development and his advancement over his career, being here works. But I also believe, like, if Imani would have gone in the lottery, he'd have been a type of player who'd have been in the Rookie of the Year conversation. But, you know what I mean? Again, we are extremely fortunate that he's here with us and look forward to working with him for a long time.